The U.S. launched an air assault on several sites in Iraq and Syria used by Iran-backed militias. The attacks come in retaliation to the drone strike that killed 3 U.S. service members in Jordan last weekend. U.S. Central Command said that the strikes were targeted at Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Quds Force, and affiliated militia groups. It said that the U.S. military forces struck more than 85 targets, including command and control operation centers, intelligence centers, rockets, missiles, and unmanned aerial vehicle storages and logistics and ammunition supply chain facilities. Meanwhile, CENTCOM has also shared a video of U.S. B-1 bombers taking off for the strikes in Iraq and Syria. The White House said that the American strikes against Iran-linked targets in Iraq and Syria took place over 30 minutes and were apparently successful.
Our munitions are very precise and don't take a lack of cloud cover. We can issue those or conduct those with good cloud cover in an interest of ensuring that we're hitting all the right targets and that we're avoiding unnecessary casualties.
Meanwhile, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights War Monitor claims at least 18 pro-Iranian fighters were killed in the strikes in eastern Syria. Observatory chief said that at least 26 major sites housing pro-Iranian group were destroyed, including weapons depots. The Iraqi military has condemned the strikes and said they could ignite further instability in that region. Iraqi military spokesperson Yahya Rasool said, and I quote, "These airstrikes constitute a violation of Iraqi sovereignty, undermine the efforts of the Iraqi government, and pose a threat that could lead Iraq and the region into dire consequences." On the other hand, the United States says that it had informed the Iraqi government prior to carrying out strikes against Iran-linked targets. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said that the strike's goal is to get these attacks to stop.
So the signal is to the IRGC and to these groups, the attacks have got to stop. And they're also this wasn't just a message sending routine tonight. This was about degrading capability, taking away in a more robust way than we have in the past, taking away capabilities by the IRGC and the militant groups.
Earlier, Iran's President Ibrahim Raisi had issued a stern warning against any possible attack by the U.S. in retaliation. The strikes are believed to be just the first in a multi-tiered response. President Joe Biden released a statement after the attack which read, and I quote, "The U.S. does not seek conflict in the Middle East or anywhere else in the world, but let all those who might seek to do us harm know this. If you harm an American, we will respond." The strikes come hours after President Biden met with the families of the 3 troops who were killed in Jordan as the service members' remains arrived in the U.S. The 3 soldiers were identified as William Jerome Rivers, Kennedy Sanders, and Breonna Moffett. And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Teherani has sent us this report from New York.
President Biden and his aides say that this was just day 1 of what is likely to be a campaign that will last days, even weeks of retaliatory strikes. Until now, the Biden administration had hoped that the United States wouldn't be dragged into a wider conflict in an already unstable region. Notably, the Biden administration did not want its proxy war with Iran to spill over to a direct conflict with Tehran. However, with these latest strikes and these developments, the possibility of that is inching closer. President Biden's critics say that his efforts may have been too late, and they don't deter Iranian proxies in the region and keep American troops safe. However, those in his administration believe that this was just the first step and more is to come, and they hope that it will deter and play as a deterrence against what's happening in the Middle East and strikes against U.S. targets. Susan Teherani reporting from New York for WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.